So what's happening, fam? LAR movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Um, this one's about mental health, I think, mental issues, but it's not necessarily mental issues. Hurt people who like to hurt people. I was clowning with my homegirl. We was talking a little bit about this yesterday, so kind of sparked it. There are people who actually have issues. We all do. That's life. Life will do a number on you. But there are some people in life who they get a kick out of hurting people, you know, and it creates an issue. What I mean by that is this. The more simplistic form about that would be bullying, right? And a bully might feel helpless at a certain point, and they decide that they'll never feel helpless again. So they do what it takes to get bigger, stronger, tougher than other people so nobody messes with them. But when you take it a step further and you wake up in the morning to take pleasure out of harming and intimidating other people, that's when hurt people like hurting other people, which becomes a problem because now it has nothing to do with the issue that caused you to toughen up. Now it has you were just like the person who gave you the issue. You never wanted to be better than or turn a negative into a positive. You wanted to double down on a negative. Thus, violence begets violence because if something happens to you and you really have a true soft heart or empathy about the situation, you try to make sure it doesn't happen to other people. And I say try because some things are out of your control. That's just reality. But if somebody makes you feel bad, and you say, "Well, I don't want to make people feel like the way I felt." Simple. But if you get up in the morning and you make sure you make people feel bad, then that's you. That's not a problem with what happened to you. The problem is with the fact that you want to spread the misery, and it actually gets you off. Sometimes you got to teach tough lessons in life. That doesn't, but you don't have to take pleasure out of that. You don't have to enjoy that. It shouldn't bring a smile to your face. You know, this is why as I grow older, some people I don't get along with people. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I have issues with small things. Like if somebody's doing another person wrong and you say, "Look, this is happening," and they laugh, I have an issue with that. Like if you got caught stealing and a person confronted you about stealing and you laughed, that means you enjoyed what you did. If that goes the same for lying, that goes the same for using somebody or manipulating a situation, or just doing things completely with a bad intention. The part when you take pleasure in it is just unforgivable. Like the thing about people who, and I'm gonna make some extreme examples. Like the thing about people who are raped or molested. When you become a rapist or a molester, then, and when people see the way you interact with people in public, they have an issue with you because they see, they can't prove it because they're not around you, but they see something in you that takes joy out of a taboo that uh, should not even be thought to be anything other than unacceptable. But you see this quality in people. I see it all the time when people like pushing the envelope, like passive aggressive people push the envelope. They like hurting other people, but they don't. And this is the same thing I see in public when you deal with people, or when we talk about politics or life, the way people in power positions interact with powerless people, as far as just humanity and respect and dignity and integrity. There are people in the world who like to abuse their power. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's where that comes from. But the problem is, um, people really enjoying their position, their privilege, their pedestal, you know, because if you have an issue with somebody, but you won't actually address them, what you'll do is you'll use your position, your privilege, your pedestal, your power, money, prestige to do something destructive, to influence something getting done destructive to their life, and sit back and eat your popcorn and enjoy the show. But you won't say it's you unless it's like a checkmate move that they can't come back from. Or, what I mean by that is, like, if they die, then you want to take credit. As me. You don't necessarily want to take credit publicly, but you want somebody to notice that's the kind of power you possess. Or you take years of time out of their lives, or you destroy a once in a lifetime opportunity that they can't get back. Things like that. That's when that part's over with. That's when you want to say, you know, I'm the man or I'm the woman. But see, if that person can bounce back from that, then you running like roaches when the lights come on. We've all been in situations where somebody might instigate a situation with you or create a situation because they quote unquote hurt, and you be like, you give them a pass. Like, you know what, they're having a rough day, rough life. They came up this way. They thought this was a normal way to interact, but it's not. And with a little bit of time and understanding, they'll get it. But they'll take your kindness for weakness, right? And then you come to find out they know right from wrong. They know function from dysfunction. They just like and enjoy the drama and dysfunction. So then you realize the whole time they may have been dealing with you while you was giving them a pass. They took the gloves off with you. You didn't look at it that way. So when you come to the realization, like, oh, you know what, time for me to take the gloves off too. Then we at war. Then it's like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. See, I'm done. I quit. I'm done. I'm not doing nothing else. And me personally, if you start a beef, that's your. However the people respond to you, you're just gonna have to live with it. It is what it is. Because if you went out of your way to impart devastation in somebody's life or imprint devastation in somebody's life, then you reap what you sow. What's the big deal? But was good for it ain't no fun when a rabbit got the gun. And that's the old statement, because what winds up happening is now that that person's about to do to you what you were doing to them, now it's unfair. But it's not unfair. It's not unfair at all. It's perfect. It's justice. It's not. There's a difference between revenge and justice. And I think people need to understand that. And that's why I say, they'll hurt people who like hurting other people, because they're not really getting back at who hurt them. They're just recreating the pain that they went through at a certain point in their life by making somebody them when they felt like they were in a powerless position. So, you know, when a when a prey becomes the predator, there's a certain point where the prey that became the predator gets cold feet when they realize they met an apex predator who was just minding their own business. You feel me? Like, you know, the jackals and the hyenas were doing good until they were in the lion's den. That's how it works out. Well, I'm done. We out.